Hi folks, it's Cyber Sunday dinner again, so that's great. Oh, I had a great meal last night, by the way. Anyway, the other week we made my brother's favorite birthday meal. Well, I have a birthday coming up, so I thought today I would make my favorite birthday meal. Since my mother's not here to make it for me, we are going to make beef stroganoff. Now, I may modify this recipe just a tad, but it's going to be pretty close to what my mother used to make for me for my birthday. And here's all the ingredients you need. I'm certainly going to put everything down in the description below. Okay, let me show you what to do with the steak here. You want to try and put it in kind of a thin, almost bite-sized pieces. Typically you use like a Tops round steak, but I had top sirloin, which is just going to be even that much better. I remember one time my wife, who knew my favorite dish was beef stroganoff, she found the original recipe from Tsar Nicholas period, and she made it for me for my birthday. And it was really different. It wasn't like, what you and I would typically think of as beef stroganoff. And it had an unusual sauce that sort of tasted gross if you ate it by itself, but it just perfectly blended with the dish. I have to say it was absolutely fabulous when she was done. But my niece was over, and she would stick her little finger in the sauce and go, "Oh, that's so gross!" And then she'd do it again. And I remember her saying, "I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's like addictive." But it was delicious. I may actually, if I have some open, I may put a little red wine in this, because as I recall, it had red wine in the original dish, and it really did kind of enhance it a little bit. Now, my mother's dish did not include the red wine, but I'm going to play that by ear. If I have a bottle open, I'm going to do it. If not, then I'll just skip it. How about that? Okay, now these look a little too thick for my taste, so I think I'm going to cut some of those in half, just to make it a little easier to cook and eat. But you want it, my mother usually used a top round, which is a thinner steak. These are relatively thick steaks. It's also my favorite, the favorite cut of my cats. They have a favorite cut in steak. I spoil those little boogers so bad. Anyway, let me finish chopping this up and then we'll get to the next step. Now, there is actual amounts for this, and I'm going to put that in the description below. But I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do it by eye. But basically what you want to do is take your regular flour here. This is just all-purpose flour. And similar to my grandmother's smothered steak dish, you're going to dredge the steak in some flour. I think that acts partly as a thickening agent. Let's add a little salt, and let's add a little pepper. That way your flour is good and seasoned. If you really wanted to get fancy, I guess you could use white pepper, which I have some, but we're going old school today, so let's just do it this way. All right. Start flouring up our steak here. This doesn't have to be very precise, but this is kind of a typical thing we do in the South, which is flour everything. In Texas, they do the country fried steak, chicken fried steak, and it's pretty much similar. Except they actually usually deep fry that, which is really good. I think the best chicken fried steak in Texas. Now, there are probably people would, or country fried steak, whatever you want to call it. I think chicken fried steak. There are people that would probably argue with me about this, but the absolute best, in my personal opinion, is at Threadgill's in Austin, up in northern Austin, North Austin. There are, like I said, there are probably people that would argue with me over that, but it's the best I've had in Texas. I'll put it that way. If you don't know about Threadgill's, it's famous because that's where Janis Joplin got started. And she sang there. And it used to be on Wednesdays. I'm not sure what day it's on anymore. Maybe Thursdays. They used to have a jam session. Well, I've been to that jam session a million times. A lot better musicians than me there, especially now. But even back in that day, it was the day when Garth Brooks was popular. So there were a lot of guys that were more into that country and country rock. I'm a blues rock guitarist, probably the world's okayest guitarist. But I would go there and hang out. But really, I just went there for the country fried steak. I worked for IBM at the time, and that was our big lunch thing, was to go there. And you could get a double portion. So usually what I would do is get a double portion, take it home for dinner, because I could eat that country fried steak anytime. It's delicious. Now there's also, or there used to be, now I'm talking about Austin many years ago when I lived there, there used to be a farmer's market there that was really good, and they had some of the best chicken fried steak in the world. It was absolutely amazing. So if you ever get to Austin, check out the Threadgill's. And if you like good ribs, go down to Ironworks, just downtown. One of my favorite places. That was kind of our Sunday dinner when I was growing up. But we're having Cyber Sunday dinner too. My parents live in Georgia now, and I'm probably going to end up moving back there at some time. All right, folks. We've got our meat all floured up here on the cutting board. So we're going to go to the next step. Be right back. Got out my trusty induction cooker. Well, we're going to start off on about, we'll go medium to start with. Take a little bit of butter, because everything is better with butter. And this is how we're going to fry everything up. Now I'm going to do my little trick. I'm going to add a bit of olive oil in there with the butter. Keeps it from burning. Put a fairly good amount in there. I'd say a couple of tablespoons. This will be something you'll have to kind of gauge on your own. We'll get this all nice and hot, and then we'll fry up our meat. Add your meat to the pan. I have a little flour left on the cutting board in case we need to thicken it up. Okay, let's kick it up on about medium high. So I'm making my own birthday dinner. on a Sunday. My birthday is coming up. Alright, there's our browned up meat. We'll set that aside and then we're going to cook up the rest. Alright, I'm going to add a little more olive oil to the pan. And we're going to cook our onions. So this is 1 cup of chopped onions. Onions are looking pretty good here. You want them just tender, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. You don't want them overcooked because they're going to cook in the broth anyway. And we're going to add some garlic. The recipe calls for 1 clove, but I got my garlic out and it had dried up on me, so we're just going to use this garlic paste, which is just as good. It said a teaspoon is about equal to a medium clove. So I'm going to go with about a rounded teaspoon just to make sure we got enough garlic flavor. And that should work just fine. Continue to cook that a little tiny bit. And then we're going to start adding in the rest of our ingredients. Alright, next we're going to add some beef stock. The recipe calls for a 14.5 ounce can. That's approximately 2 cups, so I'm going to use this as a better quality than the can. And we're going to just kind of rough this out. Probably just shy of 2 cups. So there's 8 ounces in a cup. That would say 2 cups would be 16 ounces. So let's just do a rough approximation, shall we? Alright. Get our broth in there. My little female cat, Willie, is losing her mind. I think she smelled that steak. And like I said, that is their favorite cut. That's pretty strange. Now we're going to add some mushrooms. I'm just going to use a whole can. You can certainly cook your fresh mushrooms. You know, when you're cooking your onions and garlic, if you had some fresh, it would probably be better. So let's add our mushrooms in. They both came in. The cats. They smell something good. Alright, next you want to add just a can of cream of mushroom soup. Simple as that. Okay, let's stir that together and cook until it's thickened. Both of my cats are sitting right over on the table. On the dining room table. I think I should make them their own YouTube channel. I could film these guys. And that would be pure entertainment. Okay, just cook it till it's nice and thick, and then we'll move to the next stage. That looks just perfect. So now we're going to add our meat back in. And that, folks, is beef stroganoff. Let that cook for a while. And then we'll serve it up. Here's a tip that I guess most people know, but you don't want to add your sour cream in until right before you serve it. You just warm it up enough so that the sour cream doesn't cool down your mixture. We'll let that cook for a while, get the meat nice and tender, and then we'll finish up this dish. Alrighty here, looks like it's all done. So the final step before plating, you don't want to do this too soon, but add a half a cup of sour cream. That is what makes the whole dish. Well, there is the finished product. Does that look good? Let's give it a little taste test. Don't worry, I'm not going to double dip. Oh my. Fabulous. Fabulous. Now, I have made this with chicken before. It tastes perfectly fine. Absolutely fantastic with chicken. So, you know, if you can't eat red meat, like my mother, for example, I believe she's making hers with chicken today. And I have done that, and it's fantastic. You can do it with the ground beef if you want to. It's not as good. It tastes a little, how can I say this, hamburger helper-ish. But this is fantastic. So this is my birthday dinner, and we're documenting all of these family traditions for the future. And I hope you guys enjoy this and give it a try. Alright. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time. Oh my God. Mmm. Fantastic. So, give this one a try. See what you think. This is my birthday meal. So, if you liked this video and you like this recipe, push the thumbs up button for me. And subscribe. Man, I need some subscribers. Comments. I would love to hear from you guys. Any southern recipes that you've always had, or maybe you came down here from up north and went, oh God, I love that. Whatever. Comment. Come put it in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm about to have Cyber Sunday dinner. Until next time, and the next recipe, this is Dr. J. Over and out.